This is YusefAlTahirs right now, and let me give you a brief history of what's been going on here with Billzybobb. Only not really a context, but just a timeline for people. I got a call, a message or a call. I don't know which came first, but I talked to him on the phone. Gambler, about this guy Billzybobb who, and I encountered anti-theists. I'm refraining from using the word atheist. I don't even know if anti-theist would work because I have immense respect for Christopher Hitchens. I don't like Dawkins, but I like Hitchens. And how basically Gambler was getting strawmanned by somebody named Billzybobb, who knew nothing about Eastern Orthodoxy and kept wanting to quote, let me get the book out, I don't want to use the Spanish version, this book, kept trying to use this book, a fundamentalist reading of this book. We existed for 300 years before this book. It took about 300 years to compile it, and we still don't use the Apocalypse of John. It's banned from being read in churches. Just to let you guys know. I am what's known as Syriac Chalcedonian or Antiochian Orthodox of the Eastern Orthodox Communion. Gambler is Greek Orthodox of the Eastern Orthodox Communion, so we believe the same thing, pretty much, on a dogmatic doctrine level. Now, keep in mind there is no systematic theology, systematic dogma, or systematic doctrine in Orthodoxy. Billzybobb kept trying to strawman. I kept trying to have a civil conversation with him until it just got obnoxious, and I said, yeah, I whipped your ass in that debate, blah, blah, blah. And then days went by, and then I made a video about the Ukrainian famine, and then he had me dressed up like Joseph Stalin drinking like horse shit or something, saying I was so stupid. I mean, never addressing anything that I had ever debated him on or tried to debate him on, talked to him, any issues never raised, all the issues were raised, he never addressed. Gambler kept talking to him. I had the old channel I had was John the Hut Dweller, which is coincidentally the name of a saint. There's supposed to be more than one person on there. I got stuck with the channel. Finally, I made my own channel, which one of the first videos I made. I said it was the first, but it's not. It's like the fourth video that I made. It was titled "Rational Atheists Are Needed for People Like Billzybobb," because even when I was under my old channel, there was somebody who I now have had a falling out with, and I found to be very vindictive, mean, drunk, and just trying to pick fights. Which when I talk to an atheist, I don't proselytize, so I don't expect them to proselytize. But there seems to be a form of atheists that proselytize, which irritates me. And this was Alysha Asylum. She tried talking to Billzybobb, and he just said a bunch of vulgar crap to her, and he was saying racist stuff to me too. And then, so time goes on, and then I see Cardinal Virtue's video, him defending Theo Warner, and I'm like, oh my God, this is exactly what I've been calling for since I first created this new channel back in January, the beginning of the year, and I watched it. I'm like, this is a damn good job. And I don't make videos commending people. I always hate when people do that. I think it's like kissing ass or something. But I figure I had to. I would be like, this is awesome. It's one of the first videos I made. Asking people. We need people against the. Because I've always said there's two types of fundamentalists that I come across. Fundamentalist literalists, or fundamentalist Christians that take the Bible literally, and fundamentalist atheists take the Bible literally. They're both proselytizing. The difference between these fundamentalist atheists is they just go one God less. Everybody else is stupid except me because I have the right religion. Which one am I talking about? You really don't know because they act the same way. They're just as obnoxious and arrogant and ridiculous, and they both twist and bend science for their own selfish viewpoints. They're total ideologues, and they only care about labels. they really do only care about labels. You're either you're part of us or against us. I remember Billzybobb asking me, so what's the true form of Christianity? Or are they all wrong? Is one wrong? Why would God be so confused? I said, well, have you ever heard of heresy? Such thing as heresy. Have you ever heard of the 7 ecumenical councils? Which we don't really go off the Bible, we go off the 7 ecumenical councils. The Bible was an afterthought, it's a teaching tool. And it was never supposed to be read by anybody outside of the church, coincidentally, if you know anything about history. Do you know anything about history? Well, I guess this isn't framed to Billzybobb, so I'm not gonna have that loaded in there. But I don't know how to edit video, so whatever. Again, forgive the sepia tone. Most of my videos are like this because I don't know how to work the camera correctly. So I started talking to Cardinal Virtues, and we've talked for a long time. Me and Gambler go way back. I mean, we talk all the time. We're in the roundtable forums. I think Gambler's a good guy. And then I noticed there was somebody who I actually really respect, never talked to. His name was Skeptical Heretic. I saw that he commented on one of my videos. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of cool. Because I actually saw Cardinal Virtue's video because I'm subscribed to Coughlin. I actually I think atheist videos are actually a lot more interesting than like the Ned Flanders type of Christians, since Eastern Orthodoxy is such a minority on here. We're not creationists. We don't believe in heaven and hell. We don't believe in original sin. We don't believe Jesus died as a penal substitution for our sins or anything like this, okay? For those of you not familiar with Eastern Orthodoxy. And even Pandir's Box was a Gnostic, was going after Billzybobb. This was in the early stage when it was just me and Gambler. And then Alysha tried to make some sense of it, and Billzybobb tore into Alysha's asylum. Really was a son of a bitch to her. Now, me and her don't get along currently, but I think it was still uncalled for what he said to her, and just this vulgar garbage. And James at Pandir's Box came into things. I said morality and righteousness are not the same thing. How could God be moral and command morals? I said he didn't. What's moral about God? Which I don't think he was ready for, because the fundamentalist flag-waving Christians in America are always trying to say God and morality. Well, we don't see God as moral. And we got always met with, well, if you don't have a very literal understanding of, not even literal, letterist understanding of the Bible, then you can't be a Christian. We had to explain to him that creationism is only about 150 years old. It's a reaction to Darwinism and the new forms of science that were coming out of France and Germany, the Americas and England, and we can go back and quote St. Basil the Great, who was in the 5th century, and you know, all these things. This was all lost on him. So finally, when Cardinal Virtues made his video, I was like, this is beautiful, this is fantastic. And I listened to Theo Warner's videos too, which were pretty good. I don't believe he's Eastern Orthodox, but he seems to be a very rational, intelligent person. And here we are now. Again, I don't know how you can base a whole group of people around a negative. This was one of my arguments against Billzybobb, him saying atheists and Christians. I said, well, first of all, atheism is a negative. And I've known atheists who believed in reincarnation, who believed in ghosts, who believe in astrology. So we're not talking about Ayn Rand objectivists here. So I think it's an immensely good thing not for Christianity, because for Christianity, if there were just Billzybobbs out there, it would be fantastic. We would just be knocking them down. Boom, 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 boom. But I think it's a great thing for atheism, because I may not be an atheist today. Some of you will understand what that means. But I think dialogue is the most important thing, and it became abundantly clear early on talking to Billzybobb that he did not want dialogue. He did not want an exchange of ideas. He only cared about labels, and he wanted to make his little cartoons, and he only appealed to his little cult that followed him. I know Bionic Dance was mentioned, but I'd also come across a cult of Dusty out there. It seems to be this seems not to know what the ecumenical councils are, read the church fathers. It doesn't seem like he's done any, or even knows how history is compiled. Again, I keep having to mention these people that Caesar's Commentaries, the oldest copy that we have, is from about 1400s. But so thank you, Coughlin. Well, actually, I really dig Coughlin's videos. I think it's fantastic. Just in case you think I'm making any of this up, or any of the beliefs that I talk about orthodoxy up, like that I'm making all this up, like the fact that I don't believe in a heaven or hell. Actually, I don't even care about an afterlife. But that orthodoxy doesn't have a heaven or a hell. We don't believe in original sin. We don't believe Christ died as a penal substitution. I've made immense videos on this, but even if you don't want to believe that, you can go to All Saints Monastery. Just type it in as one word on your YouTube search, All Saints Monastery, and you'll find Archbishop Lazar Pahalo. He says the same thing. And actually, I've never ran into a priest or a bishop that says anything otherwise. Now, I know there are priests out there that say otherwise, but they're not the majority, and they don't have the 2,000 years of Christianity to back them up. See, the atheists like to wave, or not the atheists, I don't want to accuse all atheists, this is certainly not cardinal virtues. I don't think Coughlin would either. But this isn't all of what Christianity is. See, there's this, and then there's going on, and actually the Old Testament really isn't seen as this had to literally happen, and this and that, and I mean, I can go into that a lot more. I've made videos about that, of where it's allegory, what is real, and that it actually should be used as a more of looking inside. I mean, there's been no time in church history when it looked at, Psalm 139 and said, happy are they that dash the heads of the little ones against the rocks, meaning murdering babies. So this is a great thing, or, or there was never a time when Levitical law was practiced. I've said this in about the last 4 videos that I've made. So the atheists are going after, or are correcting Billzybobb on his fundamentalism. And this is what I think the problem is. It's fundamentalism. It's not religion. And it's not even, I mean, it's you. It's that person. Don't try to blame your religion. If you go out and murder a bunch of people and say God did it, nobody's going to blame God. They're going to blame you. Alright. That's my video. It's poorly done, but peace to you. May God save Serbia and Syria. That's just the timeline of Billzybobb here on YouTube, dealing with me, Gambler, Cardinal Virtues. Book, it took about 300 years to compile it, and we still don't use the Apocalypse of John. It's banned from being read in churches. Just to let you guys know. I am what's known as Syriac Chalcedonian or Antiochian Orthodox of the Eastern Orthodox Communion. Gambler is Greek Orthodox of the Eastern Orthodox. I'm refraining from using the word atheist. I don't even know if anti-theist would work, because I have immense respect for Christopher Hitchens. I don't like Dawkins, but I like Hitchens. And how basically Gambler was getting strawmanned by somebody timeline for people. I got a message or a call. I don't know which came first, but I talked to him on the phone. Gambler. About this guy Billzybobb, who and I had encountered anti-theists. This is YusefAlTahir right now. And let me give you a brief history of what's been going on here with Billzybobb. I want to lay out, not really a context, but just a time. Billzybobb, who knew nothing about Eastern Orthodoxy and kept wanting to quote, get the book out, I don't want to use the Spanish version, this book, kept trying to use this book, a fundamentalist reading of this book. We existed for 300 years before this